This is amazing. So the day after Hogan is booed out of the Intuit Dome, I mean, Pat McAfee and his crew, they go on their show and they just blister this guy.
Right now, I believe Hulk Hogan is doing a live press conference.
Well, yeah, if you think those were boos, I can tell you're a fucking mark, okay? I've been doing this a long time, kid, and you get used to the Hulk Hogan.
They make fun of Hogan. They do this mock press conference. I mean, they just threw everything at him. And then, boom, he's on the show. They could not be bigger Hulkamaniacs in this studio. I mean, they were... it was an interesting interview to listen to, as any Hulk Hogan interview is. I mean, this guy, I would say there is no off switch. This man is just... This is who he has morphed into. I don't think he even knows, like, these tales of his, I think they're so ingrained in the man that he probably could pass a lie detector test when he's talking about the international dateline or, you know, blowing out his back when he slammed Andre. Just every one of his like go-to stories. They were in full effect here. We learned, you know, at his peak, wrestling 420 days a year.
420 days or 420 matches?
420 matches a year. A preposterous number, even from that 80s road schedule. But also...
How often would he have worked doubles? Like, realistically?
Oh, there were some. There were definitely some. But
not every... Or
No. Like,
he wouldn't have wrestled every day, would he?
No, he would not have. You know, there are, like, incomplete records, but it's like, dude... No one was wrestling 400 times in a year. Like, it's just a preposterous number to be throwing out. He would also talk about, like, he's done this in his book. He did it here. Like, the idea that he would be, you know, he'd wrestle in like Madison Square Garden, fly to Japan, then come back to do Boston, then go back to Tokyo. Like, just nonsense. Like, never doing this crisscrossing stuff at all. But the best one, this was a new one. I like when he has the new hits out there, was TV tapings way. You know, we have sometimes talked on Rewind Away about some of these marathon tapings that they would do in the 80s, which they would do. They would do like 4 weeks worth of tapings in a given night. But at these TV tapings in Allentown, Pennsylvania, which was the regular taping area, did you know Hogan would wrestle like 10 to 11 times on one of those tapings?
Right.
10 to 11. It's amazing. I don't even know how you come up with this stuff.
Is he mistaking like a backstage interview as a match, perhaps?
That would be ridiculous. Like, there was no way anything would lead. There weren't 10 to 11 things he was doing,
match.
Period.
You know, I cut a promo. He
wasn't having 10 to 11 meals. He wasn't having like 10 to 11. I won't even anything. He was not doing 10 to 11 of anything at these particular tapings. But it is quite something. But the big question, Way, was, you know, January the 6th, a date in infamy in U.S. history. That was the night that Hulk Hogan booed out of the Intuit Dome. And Hulk Hogan, you know, a lot of theories have been posited. What led to this reaction? Was it L.A.? Was it past discretions? What caused this? And Pat McAfee was going to get to the bottom of this. And oh, wise Hulk Hogan, he knows exactly what the problem was.
As a friend of Trump, you go speak for Trump, then you piss off about half of the country. Yeah. Are you still in the middle of feeling that? Like at the Intuit Dome? I don't think any of us expected.
No, I did.
You expected that because of the political stuff, or because of everything else?
You gotta realize, last time I ran hard in LA, I was a bad guy. I was Hollywood Hogan, man. I was riding dirty with the boys, you know, Nash and Hall, and we were spray painting people and crotch shotting everybody, and started out with the too sweet stuff. So last time I was there, I was a heel. But I think the politics had a whole lot to do with it, like you said.
I would say, yeah, I would assume you get into politics, and also some other stuff, you know.
Yeah, of course. But at the end...
Yeah. I mean, when you're in a public eye for 40 years.
Yeah, you do slip and fall a couple times.
Yeah, and they're going to see it.
But anyway, at the end of the day, we kind of looked at it the next day because, you know, I had like 11 billion impressions, you know, and some of the other guys, some of the big stars that were on that car that night only had like 3 billion. I don't name names, but yeah. But the one thing is, I was talking about the beer. You know, we're in a relationship with the WWE. You know, they're my partner in this thing, and I had to be a good guy in LA.
Yes.
Now, if this was for wrestling, and they turned on me like that, I'd have turned into Hollywood Hulk Hogan. I said, oh, hell yeah. So you hate me for everything I've done for all the Make-A-Wish kids and everything I did for your kids. Well, guess what? I did it for the money. and by the way, since you want so much hatred coming your way, I will have a good time when Kamala Harris, you know, is your new governor, and you're all standing in the soup line. Mic drop, see you.
Jeez Louise.
But I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But I was ready. I was ready to go after him.
The man is just, a creation that, I mean, nobody could possibly construct on their own. If you are just listening to us and didn't get to see the visual, also sporting his America First, Beer Second shirt.
Yes, right.
Those are the new demandments.
Yes.
For one, Terry Jean Bollea. It was quite something because Pat McAfee was tap dancing multiple times throughout the interview. Like, he wanted to open up the door about the racist video and language, but was and Hogan would not bite on any of it. He did his the patented answer that he had when asked, "Do you have any regrets?" Well, of course I've got regrets. That damn leg drop, that's his big regret in his life, using that leg drop when he could have been using a sleeper hold. So they did not go into any of that stuff, other than, as you kind of heard, a subtle reference to it of in that particular video. But that was it. He was, when him, Hall, and Nash were last together in the late 90s, real big carryover effect to 2025. It was amazing because he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in Los Angeles and was at WrestleMania the next night in a sold-out Staples Center. And that crowd had amnesia. They forgot about the NWO for that one particular night. But then they were back to heels, 26 years. That's about a time period you would hold on to. This heel, Hulk Hogan, in Los Angeles, another big hotbed of WCW as well.
I think anybody who might be training to become a professional wrestler can look at Hulk Hogan as a tremendous example of how to be one, not from his in-ring work, not from his promos as part of the NWO, but from how he responds in real interviews like this one. There's he's never really done anything wrong. It's just, all of these other excuses that are the reason for why you heard that reaction that particular night. If there was any sort of thought that like maybe that was the moment on January 6th, the recent January 6th, that would have made him, I don't know, face some sort of reckoning for past events and finally, give him an opportunity to show contrition. Obviously, I don't know if anybody of us expected that, he's just kind of, essentially just going to walk through this, and this is the excuse that this is the company line that he's going to stick to. And at this point, in the way things work these days, especially with the type of spaces that Hogan operates in, if you have a plausible excuse that sounds ridiculous to everybody else but sounds true enough to you, you have supporters that will boost it. And that's just, unfortunately, it's just the way it's going to be. And I think if you're the WWE, you're probably looking at examples like this to just see what the blowback is, because you're probably only waiting for the time to re-debut this guy.
Well, he's also an amateur political pollster, because he noted that he saw the polls and how close it was between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. But he's been traveling all over the country peddling his beer. And he just says all Republicans and all Democrats love my beer. So I couldn't fathom that these polls were going to be close. And he told Donald Trump this. So he gave him the anecdotal evidence, the Hulk Hogan barometer across the country. But he still went to bed on election night scared, because he just thought the Democrats would steal the election. That was his thought going to bed. And then he woke up the next day, and the party that lost is the party that does convey a peaceful transfer of power. So that's how elections work, and that's how that's how we are where we are. So I learned a lot. This was a political science lesson for about 45 minutes on the Pat McAfee show. I was taking notes. I found this to just be fascinating from this A1 carnival barker, Terry Bollea.
Just a remarkable case study in human existence, Terry Bollea.
It really is. This man was born for the 1980s professional wrestling landscape, and
he's actually born for this particular moment right now. 2025, especially politically, is the perfect time for a Terry Bollea to exist and to be in his prime. Yeah.
Well, that's
we're in a world where we embrace liars. So yeah, he'll be fine.
He's go check out either of his award-winning books for more. But that was Hulk Hogan today.
If you like this video, consider joining our Patreon, the Post Wrestling Cafe. Multiple bonus podcasts every week, ad-free shows, and access to our full archive. Otherwise, a like and subscribe is much appreciated. Thank you for watching.